Hi folks, I'm Matt and welcome to my top 200 games of all time, because I'm within the 200s now. We are actually at 160, and at 160 is a new game by the legendary creator Furstenfeld. It is Bora Bora. Now this is not a new game at all, but it is new to my collection. In Bora Bora, basically you are placing out markers all around the island, trying to gather resources, trying to influence the gods to be in your favor, to get certain favors, to get tribe members to increase your tribe, and it's really cool. Now, that board looks incredibly busy. I remember for years I would on and off look at this game to say, oh, there's a Furstenfeld game I hear good things about. Let me look at it. And then I look at the board and I'd be like, ugh, no, I can't do it. It is a very busy looking board, but the game is actually pretty simple once you get it down. This is a really fun game. I think the price has come down on it in the past few years, and I didn't have some kind of tropical island tribal game before. I do have a Kickstarter coming in the mail that's going to suffice for that, but at the time I was like, well, you know what, let me go ahead and get Bora Bora for now, and I was really surprised. There's a lot of different actions you're taking. You can't do it all. You're trying to get nice jewelry for points as well, which is really hard. You're rolling dice basically and taking action selected by the dice, but you're trying to get food to use on certain idle cards. They can give you special abilities and breaks in the game, and then of course there's some area control going on the island itself that at the end of the game you're going to score some in-game points. But man, it is a fun little game. It was actually a big surprise for me, and I'm not getting every Furstenfeld game, but I believe the hype, man. If you're not a Feld fan, you need to try this one out. I think Bora Bora is just a great game. I don't know how popular it is with Feld fans. I don't hear Feld fans scream about it that much, but for me it's pretty good, which is why it's on my list. At number 59 is kind of a tie, but they're basically the same game, just different versions. It's the Adventures. Yes, both of them. You have the Temple of Horus and it's Pyramid of Horus and the Temple of Chalk. And Temple of Chalk came first. Temple of Chalk is basically Indiana Jones, the board game. You're running around all these traps, lava pits, rushing rivers, closing walls that are closing in on you, and you're trying to avoid this big giant boulder and get out before that boulder either seals the door or runs you over and kills you. Now you could die in this game, but you get a second player to take over from there. If that player dies, well, then you're just screwed. This is such a great game, and this year marks the first year I actually won. I never won the game before. I always get too greedy, and or end up falling over a waterfall or falling into lava or twice, or getting bowled over by the boulder. I mean, it's just an incredibly fun game. Now the other part of that, the Pyramid of Horus, is a different type of game, which is really good. And this one, you're in a temple and blocks are falling down on the board, and they could crush you. There's a lot more dangers. There's alligators and snakes and scorpions and mummies that can get you. There are certain powerful dice that can really put curses on you. I still haven't beaten that one. Like I said, it was a year of first for me. First win for Temple of Chalk, but I cannot win Pyramid of Horus. I was so unlucky. I decided there's these big point cards here, but if you get them, I love this, it puts a curse on you, and you can no longer use a certain colored die. And when you're doing that, though, those are worth big points, but you're going to be rolling less die. And so I tried to get 4 of them. That was a big mistake. I had a big amount of points, but I just couldn't. And then the blocks didn't fall my way, man. They just kept blocking. The one block that shouldn't have fallen did, out of so many choices, and I picked it, so I can't complain. I was like, shut up. I remember my wife was playing with me on this go around. She went, you can pick another block. She felt so bad. I was like, that's okay. I was never going to get out anyway. I was moving so slow. But again, these are kind of push your luck in a way, because you're trying to get as many treasures, but the more treasures you're getting, the harder it is to get actions, because you have to roll higher numbers on the die. And because, you know, it makes sense. Thematically speaking, you're weighted down with treasure. Such a fun game. These are great games to get. Don't know how they're doing on the secondary market, but they are super fun games. Always a blast when I play them. The Adventurers, my number 159. 158 is another new game added to my list. It's called Jupiter Rescue. In Jupiter Rescue, you're a bunch of robots, kind of a co-op, and you're trying to get humans off this space station before these space freaks get them. And if a space freak ends their turn next to a human, they will turn that human into a space freak. And so an outbreak can happen pretty fast if you're not careful. The game is over, I believe, when you can either get 28 humans off the space station or you just die. You know, so many humans that get turned will end the game because then you don't have enough, humans to rescue. But it is so much fun. This is a quick, fast game. I'd heard great things about this game. I even remember when it came out, and I was asked to sit down at the table by Carrie Breitenstein, the owner of Twilight Creations. I was like, is this associated with zombies? Another great game I love. And she said, no. And I went, I'm not interested then. And it's a shame because it went for so many years, and I finally got it because I was looking for a promo card for zombies, and got that with the game, and it is just a blast. This is a fast-moving game. It's very unique in that one of your beginning cards, you put a little chip token matching the color of your robot, and that means it's a permanent power you get in the game. Kind of smart. There's even one card that allows you to change your permanent power, which is neat too. And also what I love on these cards is they give you icons of what cards combo well with others. That's another one you don't see in a regular, in card games you can see that, but one that has iconography. Hey, this type of card goes well with these types of cards. And you read them and like, oh, I see the connection. There's the combo. Because you can play more than one card in your hand per turn. And it's ways of you're trying to rescue humans, and also then you start going a mad killing spree, shooting super freaks and regular freaks. There's these super freaks that can really hurt you as well off the ship. And if there are too many freaks on a spot, if they fill up a spot, that part of the ship breaks off. You can also lose if there isn't a particular number left on the board at the end of a round. Really awesome. I can't tell you how many times we played this over and over again. Had a great time. Lost a few times. You can flip some of the tokens, the tiles over, these octagon tiles. Some of them, we flipped them over to easy. One time we flipped them all over to hard. We lost horribly. Hard just means the pathways are just not connected as well. So there's more movement you have to do around and more finagling around to get them around super freaks. But it is such an incredible game. You don't see this game on the secondary market that much. Basically, you're going to have to buy it new for full price. And even though it's a little steep, I think it's like 30, 35 bucks, it's still a good deal. Because, like I said, and on killing a super freak is just an action. You don't have to roll a die and see if you can kill them. You just shoot. And it seems very thematic because you just kind of jump into a tile, shoot 2 super freaks, and then call a human to run behind you. Go, go, go. I got this. So I got 5 actions. You move twice. I'll shoot 2 super freaks. Now you move again. Go. I got you covered. It's just like fast action. And all the robots are designed to, they have this cool action pose. And I just really, like I said, I cannot tell you how much this game has surprised me, and definitely an underrated game by Twilight Creations. Jupiter Rescue, check it out. Number 157 is another great game. When we play this game, we played several rounds of coconuts. Coconuts, folks, don't let the cover fool you or the pieces. This is a game for adults as well as families as well as kids. Basically, you're flipping little rubber coconuts into cups, and you're trying to get 6 cups stacked on your little table or your area, I guess, to win the game. So much fun. There are these cards that you play on other people that can hurt them. There's one card that can kind of help you, gives you back-to-back shots, but other than that, this game is hilarious. Everyone's laughing. There are awesome shots being made, especially when you have to close your eyes. If someone plays a card on you to close your eyes or calls your shot for you and you do it. There was one game I had to stand back farther and close my eyes and I made it. If they would have called, I don't think I called the shot. They didn't call the shot, but they played 2 cards back to back on me just to make sure I couldn't get it, and I still nailed it. I was so impressed. I mean, this is such a great game. I cannot tell you how wonderful a game this is. I know it doesn't look like much, folks, but I have had so much fun. So much fun. I mean, to be honest, this is a game that I don't know why it falls farther and farther away from my top 100 just because I have so many great games. But this is a game that I could easily see one day make my top 100. I mean, seriously, it's that much fun. It's silly, stupid fun. I'm here talking about all these games. I'm not even in the top 150 yet, folks. I love them all. I love them all. Coconuts, no exception. Excellent game. At number 156 is Milestones. Milestones is a game where you have your own player board, and it's kind of like a rondelle. You can always move as far around as you want, but you can't move back. So you're kind of going in a circle. The first circle, you're collecting resources. The bottom half, you're spending those resources on walls, on houses, on millstones, on sacks of grain. And then you're getting to the king at the end. And the king is going to take away one of your workers. You're constantly having to get new workers, which switches up the game and makes it more interesting. And also you have to get, the king makes you pay a tax. So you have to basically pay down any resources you didn't use. So it doesn't behoove you to stockpile. You cannot stockpile goods. I love that about this game. And then, of course, the points come out of, building I say roads, but it's basically fences and houses and posts, and getting extra bonuses in the game and scoring just little points at a time and then scoring bigger ones as you go around. And you're building off of other people's houses, of other people's walls. I mean, the game is so strategic in a way. I mean, oh my goodness, I absolutely love this. And we had someone do a different strategy, and he came close. He was going with the bare minimum workers so he could get around the board a little bit faster, so he wouldn't have to give that much up to the king. It's going for the little points while some of us were trying to make the big maneuvers to get the big points on turns. But it's a great looking game. Speaking, I didn't look at my list last year. I should have said what was going up, what was going down, but I'm pretty sure this game rose up on my list a little bit too, because the more I play it, the more I enjoy it. So Milestones, I think is what it's called, Milestones. Even though I don't remember the name, it's a great game. At number 155 is Shakespeare. Oh, I love the theater. I love the stage theater. I hate Shakespeare plays, but I love the game. I love the game. And any Shakespeare fan would love this too. It's basically, they take all the characters from any of Shakespeare's plays. You're getting those. You're drafting workers to help you out, to help build a set, to help practice all 3 acts of a show, to help people get costumed, make sure you make enough money so you can pay all your actors and everyone, your builders, your set builders, your costumers at the end of the game. You're trying to have the best show. You're trying to make a cast happy for victory points. Victory points are very hard to get in this game. Very low scoring game. And of course at the end there's some in-game points, but such a great game. And I believe I said this on one of my top 5. You have to have the backstage expansion. You have to have it. If you buy Shakespeare, go ahead and buy Backstage. Just a little pack of cards, but to be honest, it enhances the game 1,000 times over. I remember when I did my review, I complained that I had to pay so much, but I did admit it was an essential expansion that you have to use every time. I absolutely love Backstage with this. It just gives you extra options to do in the game, and to be honest, Backstage will just totally change the way you play the game. Totally change the way you play the game. There's just a bunch of minor workers, but you really need them. So many great things I could say about this game. There is some analysis paralysis when I bring this on the board, because there's so many decisions that you have to make at one time, and there's so many different changing factors in the game because different characters are coming out, different costume pieces or set pieces are coming out, and you're trying to get matches and stuff. It's really awesome. It's kind of a brain burner the first few times you play it, but after a while, and I think right now my gaming group isn't suffering too much from AP from it, but and that's what's lowered it on my list over the years. But still, I really love this game. I had another stage theater game years ago that I gave away to a buddy of mine because I found out that I think I'm just going to play Shakespeare from here on out. That's where I can get my fix for that, but it's just a phenomenal game. At number 154 is a new game added to my collection. It's Furstenfeld. Furstenfeld, you are basically making or delivering beer recipes. I think it's water, hops, and barley or something. And you are going to different areas to sell, and there's a market. Like if they don't get their quota, the market goes up for that particular price of whatever it is you didn't give them. And if you did sell a lot to them, you're going to drive the price down at those areas. And so, of course, it's manipulating the market a little bit to get the biggest amount of money for the biggest stuff you have. And then after a while, you're going to be upgrading your board. And eventually you're going to stop having, you get all these, you're increasing your little player board to increase more in productivity or get more for your money or whatever. Eventually, to win the game, you have to have 6, I think it's like statues or monuments on your board. Monuments don't give you anything in the game. It's just a dead space. So as you go ahead and start leading in the game, by getting 3 monuments, you're going to have less actions and less ability to do that. It's a great catch-up mechanism when you think about it, because someone who doesn't have anything going on, they're going to make more money than you are, and they're also going to start building. But at the end, you're going to have like 1 operating place left, and slowly trying to get to that last monument on there to win the game. It is a really, it's easy in a way, but the manipulation of your own player board, like I said, giving up a lot of power moves to get less moves, but of course get 1 step closer to victory, is just a smart mechanism in the game. Absolutely fun. Don't even drink beer. Love it. Furstenfeld. At number 153 is a game that's been in my collection for years now. It is Black Fleet. Absolutely love Black Fleet. It's a simple, easy pirate game. You are a pirate, you are a merchant, and you're controlling the 2 general Navy ships that every player can control. As a merchant, you're trying to move your goods from one place to the next. The longest route is usually one that's going to pay the most for that particular resource you have. And then you're using your pirate to pirate other merchant ships in the area. But then you're using the Navy ships to sink other pirates. This is almost like a paper, rock, scissors kind of game. Now this game looks beautiful, the artwork looks beautiful, the coins are metal. I mean, great production. The insert looks great. I see this game going for like $20 or less used, and I'm like, what are you thinking here? I mean, for years this is my sole pirate game that I would play, and it's still one of the oldest members of my gaming group still today. This is in his top 5. I know for sure it is, because he's the one that requested the most. He went, hey, can we play my favorite pirate game? Yeah, sure, man, go ahead. I love the game. It's kind of like, I got rid of Machi Koro from my collection because it does what Machi Koro does, meaning you're trying to unlock abilities as you're getting more and more coin. You're using that coin to unlock abilities. But it just does Machi Koro better, because everyone's ability is different. You shuffle cards, you deal them out, so everyone's ability is a little bit different. That gives you little cheats in the game that helps you get ahead. Once you have all your cards unlocked, you've won the game. Really smart game. A lot of take that in there too, of course, as you're sinking other pirate ships or pirates are robbing other merchants. It's just great. There's cards you can play too that can just really screw the other players. It's such a fun game. It's colorful. It looks nice. Definitely check it out. Black Fleet. Number 152 is a new game added to my collection, Manitoba. Manitoba is kind of hard to explain. There's a little bit of area control. It's worker placement in a way, but you're gathering resources, but it's a little bit different to explain. You're also moving up several tracks in the game to give you extra benefits or victory points. And there's so many things you can do, but the neat thing about this is this totem. All right, and it's got a stack of, I believe it's like 5 or 6 discs, wooden discs. And as you're taking the totem, you can take as many of those discs as you want. Leave the ones at the bottom you don't want, and then you get to take some actions there. I think it's 2 major actions, 2 minor actions, or 1 of each, whatever your combo is. While everyone else just gets 1 minor action from the disc you've selected. Now the disc you didn't select, you put those on top of the totem pole, and then give it over to the next person who can pick. They they can pick them all if they want to, or a few. And the thing is, that's such a smart mechanism because the color matches the areas you can go to on the board to gather resources or the tracks you can go to. And if someone doesn't have someone on the board who's next to that area, or they're not on one of those tracks, you can basically pick it just right to where certain players won't get any moves. That was a neat mechanism. I really liked that. I was like, oh, you can really screw someone over. You're like, you know what? I don't just want to take a green action, but I see no one else can take a green action. So I'll just take the green action now, take 2 major or minor ones, and then screw everyone else over. It's great. It's a great feeling. We're awful people, right, when we play board games. But I love the theme of this one, too. Don't have many Indian themed games, and I was really impressed with this one. It looks really beautiful too. Lots of nice wooden pieces. The score tracks or power tracks all are separate. They broke them down because that big track wouldn't fit in the box, I'm sure. But that was, at first it was a little frustrating for me, but I've gotten used to it now and I think it's really awesome. This is a great game to play. Just great. This is another game that kind of flies under the radar. I think you can get it for retail price. I don't know what the secondhand market is, but I just don't see many people talking about this, and I think that's a shame because it really is a wonderful game. And finally, at number 151 is another new game in my collection. It is a Castle for All Seasons. Now, this one went through the ringer. My first one I ever got, I think I got on eBay for a discount because I really wanted to look at this game. This is a game where you're playing cards and you're trying to guess what your opponent's going to play too, because certain cards you're playing can benefit you if other players play the cards you think they're going to play. This is a game of fake and double fake in a way. And so you're playing cards to either gather resources or build buildings, because of course you're trying to build a castle. And there's 2 sides of the board. There's a summer side and a winter side. Winter side's a little bit harder because there's event cards that are going to stop you from doing something or hinder you in some way. Now, like I said, the board is all, so castle that's snow covered, but it's basically the same board. I like that though. I don't mind that. And the first time I bought this on eBay, it came incomplete. I was bummed out. I sent it back. And I was like, do I want to try and get this again? And because I just love the look of this game, I said, yeah, let me get it. The artwork's incredible. The wooden pieces are just great too, really cool. And there's different strategies in this game. As you are building pieces of the wall, by the way, you're not going to build all the wall, but you're trying to build certain pieces of the wall and then get bonus points for whatever you're piecing together at the end of the game. And that will always change as players move about their people, try to get them certain areas so that, oh, okay, I'm going to get points for every tower I build. From here on out, I'm building nothing but towers. Where someone else go, okay, I'm going to go for these 3 big buildings, these 3 big point buildings. Sure, they require a lot of resources, but dang, that's boom, boom, boom. That puts me in the lead big time if I can get those. And then some people are like, you know what? The easy points for me are these small huts, and I can get a little bit of bonus points for each one of those huts, so it's almost like I'm scoring double the points. Like I said, so many strategies, and the game forces you to go in different directions too. Not everyone can have the same strategy. So like I said, everyone has almost their own different goals, though they're trying to come together to build the castle. Very thematic there. Absolutely love this game. Didn't get to play it as much as I wanted to. This is one of those games, like a lot of my other games, that come in new, play it for a little while, then new games come in, and that one just gets buried among the others. So I really look forward to playing this one again because I just loved it so much, and I think you can still get it cheap secondhand on eBay or Board Game Geek. So Castle for All Seasons, my number 151. Hey folks, that's it for now. But you know what? I feel like talking about 10 more. So how about next time I do just that? See you later.